Hey, how y'all doing out there? Once again, it's your boy Easy Work Boxing 2, about to hit you everywhere but on your feet with this one. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'd like to thank all the new subscribers for coming in. We got to talk about this fight, Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn. Classic fight, legendary fight from their fathers 30 years ago. 15 million people viewed this fight. Talk about pay-per-view numbers, right? Pay-per-view numbers back then, they would have, outsold everybody. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them, Chris Eubank Jr., Chris Eubank Sr. and Conor Benn, I think that's the father name, Conor Benn too, I think, but shout out to the father as well. But these two fighters right here, this is a legendary fight right here. We got two sons of legends. One's trying to come out there to redeem the father's name. One trying to come out there and make sure his family stay on top. I got to speak about who I think is going to win this fight. Going to go into a little bit about this fight. Now, we got Chris Eubank Jr. 32-2 with 23 KOs. He's 32 years old. Benn is 25 years old, 21 KOs. 21 wins, 0 losses, 14 KOs. He's 5'8". Eubank Jr. is 5'11". I haven't seen what Benn's reach is, but Eubank's reach is 72.5, which might be a little bit longer. A lot of welterweights like Floyd had a 72-inch reach, so Conor Benn may be up to par with his. So I can't say who got the reach advantage at this point. But both of these boxers, started late. I say like Conor Benn didn't really have an amateur career, neither did I say Chris Eubank Jr. So I think a lot of this is really going to come down to experience and seasoning of what they've learned since they've been in the sport of boxing. Now, skill set, I wouldn't say neither one of them are very skill set. I'll say Conor Benn, to me, he seems like he has the more skill as a boxer. I'm not saying that Chris Eubank Jr. can't box, but I'll say when you look at Conor Benn, you see he's very precise. Like, he really knows what he's out there doing. He looks comfortable, confident in his style, to me. And, he throws his jab more. That's the most important thing. Chris Eubank Jr. rarely uses his jab in a fight. Sometimes he does in certain fights. I like when he was trained by the guy at the Mayweather gym, the Spanish-looking guy. He was teaching him how to use the jab. That's how he ended up beating James DeGale in that fight. And, the jab is going to be the most important most important part of that fight, too. The jab is going to be the most important part of that fight. Now, chins, of course, who has the better chin? I have to go with Chris Eubank Jr. I ain't seen him rock, stun, nothing like that. I think he got a solid A1 chin. Conor Benn, I was watching a video today, watching highlights. I seen him get a little stunned in fights, but he got a brick chin, too. So, when it comes to chins, I'll give them both, good numbers on that, I give them both A plus. But when it comes to weight, that's the big issue that's going on with this. Chris Eubank, he done went up to 168 before. Conor Benn, he going to have to add on with like 10 pounds, 11 pounds for this fight. So, the weight, it's a weight disadvantage really for both fighters, in my opinion, because Chris Eubank Jr., and then it's going to be what they call it, a rehydration clause, the way he can't come in at a certain weight, and it's going to affect him. Conor Benn going to move up in weight. We don't know if he going to carry his power, if he going to carry his speed up there, having that weight on him, but he's saying that he been in the gym real good and it's not affecting him. So hopefully everything goes straight. But okay, now the father's in the corner. That's going to be a big situation, too. That brings more pride. That brings more confidence, the will to win, not to give up. Conor Benn said his dad is there officially. He in the game. Now, I'm wondering if it'll affect Chris Eubank Jr., which he has fought with his father not there before. But in a fight like this, will it affect him? I really think no, but then you never know. Emotions change when serious, when big business like this, a legacy fight, parents and sons, I'm sure his father not being there would, some way, bother him or mess up his mind, in the process of that fight. Now, when it comes to the seasoning of both of the fighters, I have to go with Chris Eubank Jr. I think he's been on the job longer and experienced more bigger fights and bigger fighters than, Conor Benn. So with him going through all he's went through, changing trainers, Roy Jones Jr., the guy I just told you at the Mayweather gym, I think that that'll be a more advantage for him in a fight. You know, because he's learned more from different people. He's been around different trainers. Now, Conor Benn, even though he's just a solid boxer, in my opinion, and he'll brute at the same time, you know, when it comes to him, I don't think he's like he said himself, he's learning on the job, you know what I'm saying, as he's going through with it. I don't think he's seen the level of boxing that Chris Eubank Jr. has. You know, not to take nothing away from him or anything like that. But the biggest thing that's going to be about this fight, basically, this is what it's all about, y'all. But the bread and butter of it. This fight going to come down to conditioning. It's going to come down to who has the better chin and who will use their jab more effectively. That's what this fight going to come down to. Conditioning, the jab, and whatever else I said. Conditioning the jab and the chin. Because neither one of these fighters are, like I say, elite boxers or, you know, no Floyd Mayweathers or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think the biggest thing that's going to be the issue is the fact that I don't think Conor Benn ever been 10 rounds. And I saw him in a fight where I was watching the highlights where he was really fatigued, but he plays it all well like a boxer supposed to. He's only been 10 rounds. So I think that due to the fact of Chris Eubank Jr., you know what I'm saying, being bigger, you know, being more seasoned, learning more than Conor Benn has, I'm going to have to rock with Chris Eubank Jr. I think Chris Eubank Jr. is going to take him into deep waters. I think he's going to use some footwork like he's been doing with Roy Jones Jr., moving around the ring. Both of these fighters are very defensive. But on the inside, Chris Eubank Jr. is more dangerous, the uppercuts. That's what's going to get Conor Benn, in my opinion. He's going to stun him with the uppercut. Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn is a boxer who can stand outside, but he is very eager to come inside. And I think that's what's going to set him up for the loss. You know, I think it's going to go into the later rounds, the 10-round fights. That's what's going to be a disadvantage for Conor Benn. And Chris Eubank Jr. is going to step it up probably about the 7th, 8th round. And he's going to try to get Conor Benn out of there. I think the weight add-on for Conor Benn is going to be an issue in the fight. That's what I think. I think the weight issue for Conor Benn is going to be an issue in the fight. But it could go both ways. You know, Chris Eubank Jr. could be weak, you know what I'm saying, not make his chin even weaker. You know, he might get knocked out, you know, due to the fact of the weight issue or the rehydration clause. It may go either way, but from the way I feel it and I see it is that Conor Benn going to get taken into the later rounds and drown. That's what I think going to happen. The attack going to come later on, probably about the 9th, 8th, 9th, 10th round from Chris Eubank Jr. Since Conor Benn has never been 12 rounds, and I think he's going to possibly stop Conor Benn. We've never seen Conor Benn really take any, like I said, I seen him take a shot where he got wobbled, where he always keep his hands down. You know, as I'm watching the videos, guy was saying, you know, and you see it yourself when he dodges punches, he's very defensive too, but he keeps his hands down as he's doing the punches. Chris Eubank defense is more leaning back, you know, ducking under. Conor Benn, he'll sit there and try to dodge shots and he'll get clipped too. And he's very weak for the left hook, Conor Benn. So I'm going with Chris Eubank Jr. to win, y'all. I think he's going to be the one on top of this fight from the seasoning. I think he's going to be the better conditioned fighter. I think that he's going to start in the later rounds. He's going to take Conor Benn in the deep waters, possibly catch him with them uppercuts, stun him, and he's going to stop Conor Benn in the later rounds. That's what my opinion of it. Thank y'all for tuning in to the channel. Your comments mean a lot to me. Whatever you feel about the video or your comments about who you think will win, please do that. Also to the subscribers, if there's any fight that you want me to talk about or mention or make a video about, please let me know that. I thank y'all for y'all love and y'all support for just tuning in and clicking on me. Also, if you want to support the channel, you know where to go. Cash App is available on the channel. I would truly appreciate you, and stay tuned. Like I said, let me know what you want to hear about, and I'll give you my honest opinion about it. No bias talk, no racism on this channel. Boxing has nothing to do with that. Peace out to everybody. Love y'all.